You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.
Hello everybody, welcome to the midweek edition of the Scottish Football Zone. I am one half of your panel tonight, Robbie Collins. I'm joined by my co-host Reagan. Reagan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Robbie, how are you?
I'm doing very well, very nervous but excited for tonight's game. Of course, usually when we come on the show we're sort of speaking about a few fixtures, but tonight it's only the one game, Reagan. It's Mirren versus Livingston, of course. How are you feeling?
I think, to be honest with you, Robbie, I think St Mirren should win, but you never know. I mean, David Martindale seems to have a job of life at Livingston. I'm a big fan of David, as people know, right? I'm a big fan of him, but I think that the fact that he's still in a job after, what is it, 1-1 in the last 17 matches or something like that, Robbie?
Aye, they've actually no won in 21, which I found out today, which is absolutely bizarre.
Say that again, Robbie, so they've not won in 21 matches?
Yeah, aye, they've not won in 21.
Well, I think, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think for any other manager, the pressure would start to build.
I think any manager would be sacked by now, to be honest with you.
I'm not one to be rude as well, but do you think as well, because Livingston's not got a big fan base, there's not that much pressure on the club, or how?
I think so, but I mean, you look at Livingston fans online and they all want him. You know, they've wanted him for a while. So
Do they? I because I'm not really in touch with Livingston supporters. I don't really know how they're feeling. So they are fully on the David Martin. They'll train out of the club.
aye, as much as I've seen, I mean, the main one's the Almond View podcast, who are huge Livy fans, and they've been on the Martindale out train for a while. So I think what you'll find as Mess fans probably are, but I think you're almost right in a sense, Reagan. I think, you know, the fans in their smaller capacity compared to, you know, the likes of Rangers when things weren't going well for Russell Martin, or, you know, Aberdeen with Helene, or all the rest of it, you just don't get that same reaction online. You don't get that same stand against the club, you know, that stand against the manager sort of thing that Rangers and that seem to get. So I think that's not really playing a part, but Reagan, I think the owner as well. I listened to him on a Sports Sound a few weeks ago, in the car on the way to the football actually, and he seems very optimistic and very positive about the club. You know, he's a classic American sounding guy. He looks always at the positive of life. So it seems like everything will be positive thinking for Livy, and they'll be probably think they can turn that around.
Robbie, I think you're spot on, but I think as much as the guy's positive right now, you want to stay in the top flight because if he's putting money in the club, you want to be at the top place where he can play. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to be scrapping around to the second tier with big clubs like Partick Thistles, St Johnson, but you know, because they know that it could be hard to get back down again. You look at Falkirk, for example. It took Falkirk years and years to get back up.
Aye, you look at what's going on at Hamilton right now. They're currently stuck in League One. Things are going from bad to worse for Hamilton. There's obviously stuff that came out today that we'll obviously not cover on the show, but I just see, you know, that's an example of a club that have really just gone through everything at the moment. And if Livy keep going down, you know, there's only so many times you can go down and come back up. You look at the Championship, you look at teams like Norwich or Watford or MD like that.
Stoke.
Aye, Stoke.
Stoke used to be like a staple hold in the Premier League. They were there for like 5-6 years. They were everybody spoke about West Brom as well. Remember West Brom saying that they were like a staple hold of the Premier League. It just shows you that. See, once you get in that rut, you can really set into it. You know.
Aye, exactly. Another club, Bolton Wanderers, obviously they're in League One right now. Another club that used to be in the Premier League. There's so many. Huddersfield's another name. Yeah, the list goes on and on of teams that.
Even West Ham, if you look at it, I mean, West Ham's a club that I do think will go down as much as Dr. Tottenham was an example on Saturday again, because Dr. Tottenham seems to come up very often. But I think West Ham's a prime example of that, as the owners don't really back the managers, they don't really invest in the club, and they're really paying the price at the moment.
Aye, and what's strange enough to say, Reagan, is you almost feel like Martindale's been backed as much as he can. You know, we came on the show during the summer and spoke about how many signings Livingston had made in tons of different areas, the recruitment that they brought in, and it just doesn't seem like it's been good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about Graham Carey, Danny Wilson, people like that. It was quality operators. It wasn't as if they were like bringing in players that you hadn't heard of and stuff like that. It was proven operators.
Aye, exactly. And you know, they've strengthened even further in January, bringing in Scott Arfield, who, by the way, starts tonight for Livingston. Don't, it's already experienced that at the weekend. I don't need that again. But no, I think Livingston, it is such a weird one. Just to sort of Reagan run through the team sheets. For Livingston, it will be Prior on goals, a back four of Brennan, Finlayson, McGowan, and Montano. It will be Tate, Arfield, and Susho in the midfield, and it will be Smith and McLennan either side of Robbie Muirhead, who actually is a pretty decent striker. I don't mind Muirhead so much. I don't think he's got a great goal record.
He's played at Partick Thistle, he's played at Dundee United, he's played at a few clubs, Robbie. He's played at Morton as well. I'm sure you know him from there.
He's played at MK Dons, Hearts for a bit. It's been all right, Robbie Muirhead. It's a pretty standard Livingston team, to be honest with you. I'm more interested in a bench, looking at guys like Scott Pittman or Bakila or Stevie May on the bench. You know, that's all players that can come on and make an impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've built still a decent squad, Robbie. I mean, the squads of the two teams have got, I think the squads are getting good. I said to you off air just before we come on to you, like in terms of St Mirren, you've got to be pretty happy with how the squad's looking. Obviously, the form's looking terrible, but the squad's still pretty good.
Aye, the squad is. I was actually saying that to my dad earlier, Regan. I think St Mirren's squad, if you go man for man on paper, is probably better than a lot. It's definitely a lot better than I'd say probably most of the bottom six teams. If you go man for man and you're picking one player for each position, you're probably picking more St Mirren players than you are any of the bottom six, realistically, in my opinion anyway. Obviously it's been a tough run of form, but you know, teams go through that, and you know, Regan, I kept saying it, you know, this time last season we just lost to Dundee United at home. We'd lost 4 in a row and we completely turned the season around. You know what happened for there. So it can, you know, form dips in form can happen. Every team will get it through a season. You know, let's not hide away from the fact Celtic and Rangers have had their fair share of dips in form this season so far. You know, Celtic lost 4 in a row at one point earlier in the season under Nancy, obviously. So it happens. And we just need to hope we can sort of bounce back. I think it probably starts tonight, to be honest, if I'm being hopeful.
Yeah, Robbie, I'm just going to say to Scottish football fans that are just joining us, I see that one of your former players, Olasanya, is set to join Aberdeen tomorrow.
Aye, that deal looks set to happen. To be honest with you, I sort of said it to you. I don't see it working, and that's not me trying to be the St Mirren fan that's, you know, writing them off before he's even got there and saying, "Oh, it'll just not work." But I think with the way Aberdeen fans want to play, I think with the way the managers like to set up the style at Aberdeen, I think that's what they'll be looking for. And to be honest with you, I don't think Olasanya will really fit into that. To be honest with you, and I'm really struggling to see him adapt to the Aberdeen team. But just make sure, by the way, if anybody's got any comments, I know even just about this game, but in Scottish football in general, because we cover all things Scottish football here at the Scottish Football Zone, please make sure to put them in there. We've got a lot of good content coming up, a lot of shows. We'll not be live after the game tonight. I'm sadly working, so I will need to be in bed for work. But I make sure you get comments in about the games ahead of Thursday. I know we'll be live on Thursday to cover all the European action for Scottish teams. We'll be live again on Friday, and of course we'll probably be live on Sunday as well after the weekend's action. Obviously the big one at Tynecastle between Hearts and Celtic. But Regan, what do you make of that Aberdeen transfer? Obviously, I was speaking about how I don't really see it working with the system, but there's no doubt that Olasanya has terrorised a lot of teams in this division.
Yeah, I don't think David was too big. Remember when me and you spoke to him about 2-3 weeks ago, Robbie was talking about Aberdeen style of play and all that. They've got these style of players. Well, I'm telling you, Dave, if you're watching, mate, Olasanya is your typical sort of striker that can hold the ball in, can bring people into play, can score goals. So as much as I think it's a good move, I don't really know if he suits Aberdeen.
Aye, I'd agree 100%. And Just to run through the St Mirren team sheet for tonight, there is only one change, I think, in the starting 11 that I can remember for the game against Livingston in the cup. I'm just going to actually double check. I believe there is. So for tonight, it will be George in goals at a back three, Miguel Freckleton, Richard King, Marcus Fraser, two wing backs, Jaden Richardson and Declan John. In the middle of the park, it will be Phillips, Conor McMenamin and Alex Gogic, and up front, it will be Roland Adogo and Mikel Mandron. I actually believe that's unchanged for the game against Livingston, which in the cup, which is no really surprise. I mean, Reagan, we won the game, so there's not going to be. Oh well, no, never mind. There is one change. Ocean Smith drops it. Conor McMenamin comes in. I'm not really surprised at that. I think
What do you
McMenamin.
make of? I'm just going to ask you, Robbie. I've spoken to Ocean Smith this season for the Scottish Football Zone. He played pretty well for Partick Thistle, but I think the big match for me that he sort of let the club down was against Queen's Park. Partick Thistle were 2-0 up, and they probably should have seen the game out, and he gave away a penalty to then Queen's Park then make it 2-1, and then obviously then they go on late and make it 2-2.
Aye, and Ocean Smith, of course, getting sent off in that game as well.
Yep.
That didn't seem to go too well, but I think Reagan, overall, you know better than me, I think overall we took positive experiences for his time at Thistle. I think getting a general sort of feeling for the fans that it was a pretty successful loan spell. And he really showed his quality, to be honest, in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of Championship games this season. I've spoken to a lot of fans as well, Robbie, and he's been playing really well, Ocean Smith. So I think in terms of him, I think I think he's done very well. I think St Mirren have got a better player from when he left St Mirren. So I think that's all you can ask for from a loan player.
Aye, and now come back into St Mirren at a time, Reagan, where we're kind of missing a few key midfielders in Bacchus and O'Hara, so it's probably time for him to come in and see what he can do. I thought, on the general gist of things that you seen in the highlights, I thought he done all right against Livingston, to be honest with you. I thought he was unsettled a bit against Hearts at times, but I think overall he's come back in, he's made a name for himself. Of course, he drops to the bench tonight, but you know, every player can't be expected to play every minute of a game, so I'm sure we'll probably see him at some point in it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that what you will see, Robbie, is you will see like St Mirren dominate the ball. I think because I think that in terms of Livingston, I don't think they've been playing too well, Robbie. But
No.
do you think that in terms of the sort of first person that scores in this game potentially goes on to win it? Because as much as there is genuine quality, Robbie, I still think that in these kind of tight matches, the first person to score genuinely does go on to win.
Look, I would have said yes hadn't I just watched the cup game and seen us go 1-0 up in 4 minutes, and then Livingston basically instantly pin us back. So I think, Reagan, I think your point's valid. I think it will be a very tight game. I don't think there'll be many goals in it. I think if somebody's going to win it, it'll be a 2-1 scoreline, to be honest with you. But I think the more realistic scenario, to be honest with you, Reagan, is it ends a score draw. And to be honest with you, would I be mad at a point away at Livingston on a Tuesday night? Probably. I'd probably come on the show on Thursday and be a bit raging, but I think in the retrospect of things, considering the poor run we've been on, I don't necessarily think a point's a bad thing. It could definitely be worse if we lost the game tonight. Alarm bells would probably start ringing, to be honest with you, and I'd be a bit worried. But it's just one of these games. Namely, like playing Livingston away, Celtic go there, concede 2, Rangers go there, scrape by under Russell Martin. Teams go there all the time, drop points. I know they're on a horrendous run of form, but you know, you can never take it away for the sort of timid pitch and the way Livingston like to play. So it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, I just can't believe that me and you are watching the St Mirren match over some great Champions League ties as well. It just shows you the beautiful Scottish football.
There's a lot of different things on now. You know, I know we're both dartsmen, and there's obviously the darts on the night, and I'm picking to watch St Mirren v Livingston on a Tuesday night ahead of that. But that's why we love the game, Reagan. we'll always pick a Scottish game or anything, but there is obviously other games on. League One, we've got Alloy, Montrose and East Fife, Inverness, and then the Scottish
Yeah,
Cup.
I did see Montrose on Saturday. I did see you on Saturday as well that Sean Dillon was playing. I mean, Sean Dillon, former Dundee United player, people know. Yeah, he was pretty good, but Tony Watt got the better of him, who I spoke to after the match, Robbie. But I'm just seeing some scores here. I see Bodo Glynn are beating Man City by 3-1.
Aye, that is a bit of a shocker, to be honest with you.
And I see Rodri's just been sent off.
We might go for bad to worse for City, of course. But Bodo Glimt looking there, they've got a goal chopped off as well, so it could have been even worse for City. But obviously in the earlier kick-off, Reagan, Kaya Almaty, obviously Celtic's former opponents losing 4-1 at home to Club Brugge. 4-0 done as well. But aye, there's an interesting Champions League ties on.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, that to me that just shows you how bad that Celtic score was against Kaya Almaty, because I watched that game earlier when I was enjoying my afternoon, Robbie, and I just felt like that. I don't know if you've seen this, the second goal, but the goalkeeper is halfway out his box.
No, I never even seen it. No,
Yeah,
I've
the
not seen
match
it.
started at 3:30, so it was
Aye.
it was a good game to watch. But I think in terms of what St Mirren are going to do tonight, Robbie, see if St Mirren are going to get the 3 points. Is there a player there or players that you think are going to be key?
I think the key of our team always comes through our striker. We need Mandron to be right on top of it. We need him to be holding up the ball, making things happen. And I think with Roland Adobe up next to him, he's probably got the best chance at that. But of course, it's easy to say that. We just need the whole team to be good. What I've found in recent weeks is it's just moments that are letting us down. The Falkirk game, Shamal George concussions out, the ball unfortunately falls to the Falkirk player. Good finish, to be fair, but it's just key moments that are really letting us down at the weekend. If you look at Scott Arfield's goal, it's lovely work by Livingston, by the way. They worked it really nice. But the defending for Alex Gogic in that situation for me was terrible. He's so stagnant in the midfield. Not to mention King's barely putting any pressure on him. So it's so cliche to say it, but we just need everybody to be a team. And I do believe we can go and get the result. Of course, subs are going to be key as well. There's players in there. Daniel Lundeloo had such a good start in the cup run. I remember that goal against Motherwell was absolutely fantastic. Carlin Campbell, of course, he'll need to be crucial coming on at some point. Probably Evan Mooney. Of course, new boy Jake Young, but we've not seen him yet. He was obviously uneligible to play because I believe it was something about like a contract didn't get signed in time for the cup game, so couldn't they play him? He, of course,
Have you managed to speak to anybody about him, Robbie? I mean, because obviously he came from Stevenage. Have you spoke to anybody about what he's like? Have you heard anything from?
No, not really. But I mean, look, just gonna base on stats, and I don't base a lot of people on stats because you need to wait and see how they're playing. But scoring 16 goals in 25 games for Swindon, it's say what you want about the league they're playing, but you've got to be at least somewhat capable if you're finding the ball 16 times in the net, 16 times in a season. So he definitely knows where the goal is. It's a striker position that we've no filled since Tiosi left. So I'm hopeful that he can be the guy. I think he kind of needs to be very minute to start scoring a few more goals, especially in the striker element. So I'm hopeful that he'll be able to be that guy.
See, for you, Robbie, I mean, just going to say as well, how important is it that St Mirren don't get in a sort of slump, because I'm seeing the league and the Premier League, St Mirren have not done too well the last weeks. I mean, fair play, they've played Rangers, played Hearts, but I mean, the performances have been terrible.
I said it on the show, it's like a double-edged sword. You're playing Hearts, Falkirk, Motherwell and Rangers, fair enough, they're all tough teams, but you need to be putting in good performances, and we've no. And it's really been since that Kilmarnock game at home. Of course, I attended it for the Scottish Football Zone, and we just looked pretty dire, to be honest. There wasn't much happening at all in the game. And since that moment, it's just kind of been a poor run. Of course, we get the cup win against Livingston, which can't go unnoticed. Wins like that can restart your season, so we just need to hope it does.
Robbie, you planning to go to Airdrie? Because I think I'm going to go for the Scottish Football Zone, Airdrie and St Mirren.
I'm thinking about it if it doesn't get put in the Friday night game, to be honest with you. If it gets put in the Friday night game, there's no chance I'm going. But
No,
if it,
if it gets put in Friday night, I can forget it. But usually I go to Partick Thistle for the Scottish Football Zone, but I think I'll go to Airdrie.
aye, well, hopefully it's on at a good time and we can both go
Aye.
and make a good day because it'll be an interesting cup tie, to be honest with you, when that rolls around, depending on the form we're on, to be honest with you. Of course, Partick Thistle got a favourable game against Elgin. They'll be looking to try and get their place in the quarter-finals. And aye, maybe Mark Wilson will be dreaming of a trip to Hampden to take his Thistle
Hopefully,
team.
Robbie.
Aye, that'd be good for them.
Hopefully I'm the one interviewing him and Alex after they left the Scottish Cup. But
It'll be Partick Thistle v St Mirren in the final. But no, I think we'll take it game by game and see how it goes. But Reagan, just to sort of ask ahead of the night, for your point of view, you're looking at two clubs that are pretty struggling to pick up form consistently. What are you thinking from an outsider's point of view?
I think it'll be sort of a bit of a slog of a game. But I think St Mirren have got that quality, Robert, that they can open up. They showed that against Celtic obviously a few weeks ago in the final. I know it was a long time ago. I don't know if the players have just have had too much to drink or too much to eat after they've went on and won the trophy. But St Mirren's got players in there, Robbie, that if they put it all together, they can go on and win. I think Stephen Robinson will be particularly annoyed because the league leaders' Hearts were down to 10 men, Robbie, for basically the full match time cancel. So I think that'll be a bit of a bugbear for them because you'd expect St Mirren after Hearts going down to 10 men to try and take some sort of advantage. Maybe a draw, maybe a win. So I think Stephen Robinson will be disappointed.
Aye, that's probably the one for me, Reagan, when you look at the performance. I feel really disappointed. I thought Motherwell was a disappointing performance, but you can understand why you're playing the Motherwell team that are very much probably playing the best football in the league. And Hearts just...
Robbie, I just wanted to ask you as well. Do you still got aspirations for a top six finish? If you do win tonight?
It's definitely no priority, to be honest with you. I may just want to focus on staying up first, and then seeing what we can do for there. But no,
Robbie, see a lot on Sky Sports and all that. They'll say, "Well, I know you'd rather finish 20th and get a trophy and stuff like that." They say that down in England, but is that the sort of same thing for you? I mean, you'd rather survive in the league and win a trophy rather than finish fifth, because because at the end of the day, I mean, as much as it's a little bit more money for people like John Needham, who we've had on the Scottish Football Zone before, as much as it's good money for him, you St Mirren fans and St Mirren players want to experience that magical moment. I mean, I bet you and your dad will never forget that moment of being in Hampden and celebrating in Wolford Nancy and Celtic.
well, look, John's a St Mirren fan. He's a lifelong St Mirren fan. He's been supporting the club all his days, so I'm sure it meant just as much to him as it did us. Unfortunately, it's a moment I never got to share with my dad because he was actually ill on that weekend. But I mean,
Sorry,
no, it's just one of the things that you just you'll never know. Remember, you know what I mean? I'll always remember that as long as I live. The moment the final whistle went, you know, being 3-1 up with 12 minutes to go and still no believing we've won the game. You know, it's moments like that just really stick in your head. You know, I'm in the 89th minute. The line was only held up. I think it was about 3 minutes added time, and I'm still turning around to my cousin and going, "Nah, it's not over yet. It's not out yet. It's not out yet." But no, it is one of the moments that will live forever. And you're right. If you ask me for an 8th place finish and a trophy win at the start of the season, I'd bet your hand off for it, to be honest. And we've been there, we've done the top six, we've done it 3 seasons in a row. The only club outside our Rangers and Celtic to do that. So, it was a bit time we started getting back to winning some silverware, and we've done that.
I think if you said to Stephen Robinson, in your 4 years at St Mirren, three years top six, and the next year trophy, they would say perfect, they would say brilliant, and I think it's about being realistic.
Aye, 100%. I think it is. The expectations risen so much, Reagan, since Robinson joined, and it's only getting tougher for him and the players. But I think he's really stood up to that. And look, if this is to be the end, if this is to be the final sort of 6 months in the chapter of Stephen Robinson at St Mirren, you know what? He's been outdone. He's been out and done everything you could ask for as a St Mirren fan. He's won a trophy. He's got us into the top six, and he's got us into Europe. That is it. That is all you can do as a St Mirren manager, and he's not going to accomplish anything else. So for me, Reagan, he's
You sound a bit resigned there, as if you know that Stephen Robinson's going to go. You're a bit resigned there that you feel that he might move on to a different challenge.
I'm very open to the fact that a very reliable journalist posted 2 hours ago that he's front runner for the Aberdeen job. And I'm very wary that likelihood is he's going to leave in 6 months. I don't see a world in which Robinson stays
6 months?
beyond the end of the season.
The Aberdeen job is up right now, Robert. So
Yeah, of course, he could get the Aberdeen job. That's what I'm saying. The journalist that posted that did say he's front runner, so he could be out next week for all we know. But I like to think Robinson wants to see it out. I like to think that Robinson wants to finish what he started. And if he goes at the end of the season, he deserves a guard of honour on the pitch for half an hour because he's done everything that we could ask for as fans, and there's genuinely nothing else in my mind that I think he could achieve, and nothing else I want him to achieve. Well, obviously, if he goes and wins the league next year, then you know what, fair enough. But there's nothing realistically left that I look at and go, right, I'll be happy to let him leave once that happens. I think he's pretty good to go right now, but I hope he finishes the season.
yeah, I mean, I do agree with you that he's done a fantastic job, and obviously, like you said there, Robbie, there is a ceiling for St Mirren. In terms of prediction, then, Robbie, what are you thinking for tonight?
I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to go 2-1 to St Mirren. I said the game would be won by a 2-1. I think it will be us, and I think we'll win it. I think Jake Young will be the man to score as the winning goal, and he'll get himself fit and firing for the St Mirren team. What about you?
I'm going to go 2-0 to St Mirren. I think St Mirren will score early. Then it'll be a little bit of pressure from David Martindale's Livingston, and then St Mirren will just score that second goal. I think it'll be 2-0, Robbie.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. We could be doing with a clean sheet now, to be honest with you. We've not actually kept a clean sheet since that Kilmarnock game, so it'll be nice. But no, Reagan, thank you for joining me on this Tuesday night. We will not be back after the show, as I alluded to. I'm working tomorrow, I'm in the office, so I need to get up early. I need to be in bed after the game, which is so fun. But actually, there might be Michael might be back. Who knows? I heard he's away running some medical fitness tests to try and get some players in.
He's talking to a few fitness gurus to see if he's available.
So we'll see if we can get him late implemented. If not, we'll be back on Thursday for all the European action as Celtic and Rangers play in Europa League action. Of course, both games, I don't want to say meaningless, Reagan, but they kind of are at the same time. They don't really hold much.
Yeah, I sort of have this perspective, Robbie, that I do actually think that I think Martin O'Neill should play the same team he played in Sunday against Auckland Talbot. I know he won't because people think, oh, it's European action. But to be honest with you, Robbie, I could not care what happens. The most important thing that Celtic need to do on Sunday is win that game to have any hopes of title race. If Celtic lose to Hearts on Sunday, I'm going to go in 11 and say Rangers will win the title.
Oh, no even Hearts?
No, because I just feel like Shankland's been out for 8 weeks, Robbie, is a long time. And you see the way, as much as I hate to say it, Robbie, you look at the amount of backing the Rangers have given to the staff and the coaching staff and the Danny Rowe as well. And you look at the opposite of Celtic. Celtic this squad at the moment, Robbie, is not. It's not made to win the title. It's not made to win the title. Johnny Kenny is not a title winning striker. I'm sorry, but he's not.
Aye, it'll be something we can definitely talk about on Thursday. But aye, make sure you join us for that. That'll be a double header. Before the games and after the games, then we'll of course be back on Friday with a pre-show for the weekend games. For the big weekend games, I should say, for Regan's point of view, obviously travelling to Tynecastle, probably the biggest game of the season.
And Robbie, I don't think I can make it, but are you going to go along to Furrow on Saturday?
Potentially, it's similar away. So, aye.
I'm going to a 70th birthday bash at 6 o'clock, so I don't know. Well, I'm trying to persuade people, but I usually do the interviews about 5:30, so I don't think I'll have enough time to whisk off.
Aye, well, we'll see what we can do. Try and get somebody along to Furrow. And aye, Regan, anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for everybody for joining us, and also please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I'm just going to put the actual link for everybody to subscribe there. You just go down there, click on the link, and subscribe to the channel, please. It would be much appreciated.
Subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, make sure you follow us on TikTok, or the Tiki Talkie, as Regan likes to call it. There's a lot of interviews that you can get if you click on that link. And aye, as I said, we will be back on Thursday, but all that's left for me to say, Regan, is come on the Saints. Hopefully we get the job done.
Hope you go marching in. Or as they would say, I hope the Tony Macaroni people at Livingston enjoy their pies.
Aye, I hope everybody enjoys their pies and enjoys the night out. But aye, we will catch you guys on Thursday. Goodbye.
See you later, Robbie.